morning, Abby. It's Friday, and today I'm going to be reviewing a book for you in a very educational way that you can't punish me for. The book I am going to be reviewing for you today is I'm a Genius of Unspeakable Evil and I Want to Be Your Class President by Josh Lieb. As amazing as the actual content of this book is, I feel like we should actually talk about the covers first, because the covers are actually pretty cool. Although, even after reading this book, I don't actually know what the picture on the cover is supposed to be. Maybe the book's trying to say that it's going to blow your mind if you read it. I don't know. Okay, so if you look very closely and you can't actually see it because you have to, like, get the thing into the light, and, like, even if you could, my video quality is so low res that you can't see it. But anyway, both the front and back covers are embossed with the words, "You will vote for Oliver," just written, like, over and over. And, like, I didn't even actually notice, like, the first 2 days I was reading the book, but, like, because you have to get it in very specific lighting to see it, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. Also, let's read some of the text blurbs on the book, because they're very hilarious. From Jon Stewart: if War and Peace had a baby with the Breakfast Club, and then left that baby to be raised by wolves, this book would be the result. I loved it. Now, granted, Josh Lieb actually used to work for Jon Stewart, so maybe Jon Stewart was a little bit biased in his review, but still. From Daniel Pinkwater: Josh Lieb has set literature back 100 years. The publishing company put a negative review of the book on the back. Either they really value honesty, or they're just, like, not taking this seriously at all, and I'm kind of leaning towards door number 2. And last but not least, from Judd Apatow: Josh Lieb is on one of the great brave journeys in American literature. Or maybe he just signed my name to a blurb he wrote. Either way, you have to admit he's brave, and the book is hilarious. Anyway, moving on to the actual book itself, which in the first 2 paragraphs does a very good job of trying to intimidate you. Someday, you will beg for the honor of licking my feet. You will get down on your stupid, worthless knees and beg, "Please, sir, please let me lick the diseased dog dung from between your toes. I will be standing barefoot in the dung of diseased dogs just to make it grosser for you. And if I am in a good mood and am not too disgusted by your stupid wormy tears or your stupid scrunched up face, I will allow you the signal honor of licking my feet clean, even though you don't deserve it." Okay then. This book is about Oliver Watson. He is a 12-year-old boy whom everyone else thinks is just, like, incredibly stupid, but in fact, he's the 3rd richest man on Earth. This book is actually quite terrifying because, like in real life with real billionaires, Oliver Watson owns basically everything. I've gone from small-scale investments in the stock market to large-scale manipulation of that same stock market to Titanic-scaled feats of corporate piracy in just a few short years. I now own land in all 50 states and most of the capitalist countries of the world. I own investment banks, baseball teams, borax mines, and banana plantations. I own 1 movie studio, 2 television networks, and 3 newspaper syndicates. I own a tobacco company that makes Mr. Moorhead cigarettes. He's literally paying me to kill him. How delicious is that? And that's just all the things he owns. Let's not even, like, bring up all the people that he has under control. Like, people with submarines that can shoot you, and people with helicopters that can shoot you, and people with guns that can shoot you, and generally terrifying people that can smash you to a pulp. And let's not even talk about the motivator. He's a person. You will find out about him if you read the book, and and he doesn't even have to worry about bullies at school because he invented a chemical called Lazapril that, among other effects, makes you fart very, very loudly and very, very stinkily. So, yeah, bullies don't like picking on Oliver Watson. This is terrifying for 2 reasons. 1, as a person who was once 12, I can certify that when you are 12 years old, your emotions are ridiculous. Oliver is typically a very strategic person. He thinks before he acts, but sometimes his emotions will get the best of him, as happens at one point in the story where he literally comes this close to sending a whole squadron of helicopters to his middle school to blow it up. And I don't mean, like, just set off a few explosions to scare some people. I mean, he literally wanted the thing to burn to the ground with all of the students and teachers inside of it. Strafe it, I say. Raise it. Reduce it to a pile of ashes. I'm giving orders to my squadron of jets. I'm sending them to my school. I will erase my shame. I will burn it from the earth. Destroy it. I want rubble piled upon rubble. My airbase is in Grand Island, but that's only a 5-minute flight at their speed. Don't leave a single stone standing. What's terrifying about this is that the author describes most of the things in the book in a very plausible way, to the point where I am convinced that a child of above average intelligence and cunning could actually do this, and because of reason 1, that is even more terrifying. Moving back to the actual story, you now all understand where the Genius of Unspeakable Evil part comes in, but why does he want to run for class president? Because of his dad. Oliver does not get along with his dad for a lot of complicated psychological reasons. I just said complicated because that is totally a real word. Yeah, it's just a bunch of complicated reasons that you will find out if you read about in the book. I don't have time to explain them all, but yeah, it's complicated. Complicated. What did I even say? Oliver insists multiple times throughout the story that he is not doing the things that he does to win his dad's approval, but I mean, if you pay attention like at all in the story, it is painfully obvious that he actually is doing this to win his dad's respect, although I would not recommend trying to tell him that because there is a good chance that by tomorrow morning you will be dead. The story kickstarts when Oliver is half as a joke and half actually for real. The character who does it never actually clarifies which of the two they're doing, but anyway, Oliver gets nominated for class president. Oliver rejects the nomination, but just being nominated is such shocking news to Oliver's mother that she has a freak out about it during dinner. Oliver's mom is not exactly the smartest light bulb in the box, although that is also another one of the things that I would not suggest trying to tell Oliver because it will probably result in you being dead. Because, I mean, for all the bad stuff that Oliver does in this book, he really likes his mom. Oliver's dad kind of half-heartedly tells Oliver that, being nominated is good too, and then he just kind of goes on a nostalgic spiel about the good old days when he was class president, man. Oliver's dad is a bit of a hippie. Oliver then decides that he's going to run for class president, but it is totally not to win his dad's respect, except for, all the parts where it is. Oliver has this weird, twisted mindset where he tries to take all the things that his dad enjoys and just, absolutely ruin them for him. So now he's going to ruin his dad's memories of class president and how hard he had to fight to win that election by having his son, who is basically too stupid to live as far as everyone is concerned, win the election in a landslide. Except not, because becoming class president and winning his dad's approval, ruining his dad's life, ends up being a lot more complicated than Oliver expected. One thing snowballs into another, and pretty soon the principal is being followed by federal agents, and his mom is becoming friends with 12-year-old girls. This book is just kind of generally insane, except in a very, very good way. There is lots and lots and lots of poorly edited photography. There's also a lot of footnotes involved, just like one of my other favorite books that I featured in the intro to this video. And there's a lot of very, very intense moments, but there's also a lot of very sweet and heartfelt ones as well. You would expect from the book having the word evil in the title, describing the main character, for Oliver to be more of an antagonist than a protagonist, but Oliver is not really what we think of normally when we hear the word evil. In fact, Oliver explains it pretty well. Why don't I just tell you what Oliver thinks of the word evil? I freely admit I'm evil. At least I freely admit it when I'm alone and no one can hear me. That doesn't mean I torture kittens or plot the genocide of entire continents of people. That's insanity, not evil. And insanity is just what we call stupidity when it doesn't make sense. I am evil because I really don't care about what's best for the world. I care about what's best for me. I have no particular respect for this earth or the two-legged vermin that infest it. I suspect more people are evil than they'd admit. There's just nothing they can do about it. Lucky for me, I'm a genius and I can pretty much do whatever I want. And what I want, and this is what makes me super evil, is to enforce my will on the inhabitants of this planet. I want power, control. I want things to go exactly how I want, when I want, for as long as I want. This puts me in very good company. Napoleon, Augustus Caesar. It also puts me in with some real stinkers. Idi Amin, Stalin. But again, those last two don't really deserve the honor of being called evil. They're just bug-eyed, spittle-spewing, ape-turd insane. It's why we call one dictator Alexander the Great and another Hitler, the little creep with the mustache. Despite what he just said about, not caring about other human beings, I think Oliver is a very enduring, interesting, and well-rounded character. One minute he's, screwing with his English teacher's mind, giving him advice via cigarettes, and then another second, he's, rigging it so his dad can get a job promotion so that his dad can buy more extravagant things for his mom. And really, just the way he treats his mom is, really adorable. You go, Oliver, treating your mother nicely. As Oliver says in the book, even Vlad the Impaler had a mother. Okay, this video is getting kind of long and clunky, and I don't like long and clunky videos because it means that it takes longer and clunkier to edit the video, and I don't like video editing. So long story short, read this book. It is amazing. Read it right now. It's good. Read it. Read it. Read it. Question of the day. Any book suggestions for me? Because I like books. Also, I like Miraculous Ladybug. In case you couldn't tell, I'm actually wearing my Miraculous Ladybug shirt again. I'm doing this new thing where every Friday I wear this shirt. No matter, what the circumstances are, if it is Friday, I will wear this shirt. At one point in the book, Oliver toys with the idea of blowing up Iowa, so I imagine that's nice and calming for you. And I will see you tomorrow. Also, happy birthday, Rosie! Even though I don't actually know you, but you seem like a nice person. Congratulations on winning Homecoming Queen yesterday. Happy birthday, Rosie. Bye, Rosie.